Hey there, folks. In this video, we're going to be talking about what A plus candle confirmation deal looks like. What is the criteria that you need? What I'm about to tell you in this video, you could literally make a full-time living. You could literally quit your job, do this full-time if you had enough discipline to wait for what I'm going to tell you here. Does it happen all the time? Like, is it something that's going to happen like left and right, like 100 times a day? No, of course not, right? What comes with like really high quality deals is the frequency tends to go down. Okay. It doesn't happen left and right. But if you have the patience, I mean, this is all you need. What I'm telling you here, right? When it comes to candle confirmation, you're going to get really good follow through when you have a few things. You need to have a lot of liquidity to frame the move, and then you need an opposing draw. Okay, think of the liquidity as fuel for price. Liquidity is the fuel for price, and you need an opposing draw. So what does that look like on a chart? And that's what we're going to go into. Right off the jump, I was bearish on USD because of this daily chart. Because the daily chart, this thing came up. If you look at my cursor, this thing came up. And we took out higher time frame buy side right here. Look at my cursor right there. That pressed out higher time frame buy side liquidity right there. And we are in a downswing off that. When I see a downswing, I mean we put in a swing high, highest high in the middle, lower high on the left, lower high on the right, and it's now curling lower. Low after low is being tagged. Okay. So we're in a downswing off of higher time frame buy side. Also notice how there's very little, like there's no higher time frame, there's no significant sell side being taken on this push lower. So I see that strong close on Thursday. See how that comes down and it displaces beneath that with conviction, with strength. Now this daily, even though like that's a daily bearish CC deal, but that's not what I'm talking about in this case. I'm talking about a 4 hour. I'm just doing the top down analysis to kind of give you the full picture about my entire thought process on this on Friday. Because like right off the bat, you know, I had the daily that's bearish too. But the CC deal that I actually had my focus on was right there. If you look at my cursor, we had this strong close right here on Friday. That came down and that closed beneath that low right there. It's in that downswing. That's a bearish CC deal. Okay. Now, at this point, once that's confirmed, I got my low down here that I want to target. The low of that 4 hour candle. Okay. You got that strong close in there beneath that previous low. My focus is now on this right here to be ran out. That low right there to be ran out. Price comes up and it tests my pivot. Look at my cursor. The previous candle that it displaced beneath in there. And it did, of course, have the 5-minute buy side liquidity grab. You know, what we call the fake move, right? But I wasn't interested in this when it actually had like that first little 1 minute displacement. And I'm going to tell you why I wasn't interested. You see, like this thing came up and it was curling up here. It was curling up here into London session. If you look at my cursor, we have the low down there. I'm just on a lower time frame chart now. We have the low down there still intact. It's coming up. It's taking out 5-minute buy side and we get a displacement in there, but I was not interested in here. And, you know, and then somebody might be confused like, well, hold up though. You got your pivot. You got your 5-minute sweep in here. You got your displacement. Isn't that the what you want at that time? Isn't that at that point you look for the low to be cleaned out? I figured that wasn't going to be the case right now, at least, or at this time at least, because it doesn't have enough liquidity to do so. And just so you know, I'm not talking in hindsight here. We were literally talking about this in the mentorship chat on Friday because I had an individual ask me thoughts on into the USD 4 hour. And as I said right here, look, 3:46 a.m. waiting on 4 hour buy side liquidity to be taken. Then after it gets displacement, I like better. Why do I say that? Like, what is the reasoning behind me saying that? You see the timestamp. There ain't no hindsight in what I'm doing here. Why did I want that taken? And why wasn't interested right here? Because it needs more fuel. You got to think. Go back to your higher time frame. This is bearish. We've already concluded even the daily's bearish. I got the strong close right there, bearish signature. But just because I have a bearish signature, just because I have that strong close there, doesn't mean it's quite ready yet. It needs more liquidity before it can make the trip. You got to look what it took out recently. This thing came down here and it took out higher time frame sell side. Look at my cursor right there. Yeah, it absolutely snapped it in half, right? But still it took out higher time frame sell side and this thing comes down to a discount and it tests like this old high support in here. You see that? And then it kind of curls up off the old high support. Here's the thing though. You come down to a discount with higher time frame sell side taken. At the time that you initially got that first displacement, like the first 1 minute displacement, You didn't have that higher time frame buy side taken yet. But you got to remember, oh, we took out higher time frame sell side. Oh, we pulled back into a discount. We have some support in here. So I see that happen right there, and I understand that price is just creating liquidity. It's creating fuel for that move lower because it doesn't have the necessary fuel yet. And if you zoom into the lower time frame, what you'll also see is, what did it take out on that first initial push right here? Look at my cursor, because that's right after midnight on Friday. That's right after midnight right here. What did that take out? That took care of Asian session low sell side. Asian session begins 19, ends at midnight. It takes care of Asian session low sell side. So I want you to put this together. This thing is in a higher time frame discount. It's taking out higher time frame sell side, and then it comes down again right after midnight. Remember, there's no higher time frame buy side taken yet. When it's moving down right here right after midnight, there's no higher time frame buy side taken. It's already taken out higher time frame sell side though. It is in a discount, and now it has Asian session lows. Look at all that liquidity taken. Look at all that sell side liquidity taken. So I can have the thesis that, okay, it's going to want to run out that low right there, but it doesn't got to do it right away. It doesn't got to do it right here, right now. It needs what? It needs fuel, and liquidity is the fuel, because you only have too much right here. It can't, like, price is going to gyrate. Price is going to fluctuate. It's not like a straight line lower. It'd be great if it was that easy, right? But it's not. So my focus then goes to this liquidity, which also, by the way, happens to be Asian session highs buy side liquidity. That is what I'm had my focus on, because I understand now. Once I get that, it has more fuel to make the trip down here. But beforehand, it didn't, because it only had too much liquidity. It only had higher time frame sell side taken. It's in a discount. It has Asian session lows taken. So that is the opposing draw in the short term. In the short term, right there is the opposing draw, because it only has too much liquidity taken with the higher time frame sell side. The Asian session lows right here where my cursor's moving. It already took out all that liquidity with an opposing draw up here. So it wants to seek that first before it reaches for this. It's like ping pong, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, from liquidity to liquidity. That's what it is. So that's why I didn't really trust it in here when it was like having that initial little move, because it needs more fuel. It needs more liquidity. Okay. So what happens is price comes up and we take it. So of course, you got your 5-minute liquidity sweep, right? I mean, hell, you got a fucking 4-hour sweep. Of course you got a 5-minute sweep, but that is like, see that push up right there? That's what I'm anticipating. This is a fake run. That's a fake run right there up into that liquidity, because I got this opposing draw down here. Okay. That's where I had that strong close. It never did have a strong close higher on the 4-hour chart. So it's still valid as per the rules that I've already taught you with CC. And if you're like a newer, if you're newer to candle confirmation and you're watching this video, you kind of skipped a lot. You need to definitely start at the beginning and watch like the entire playlist of candle confirmation, which will be linked in the video description, by the way. I'll link that in the video description for you, because if you're just watching this video right now and you haven't watched any of my previous stuff, you're going to probably be fairly lost, because this is more for the folks that are familiar with it, but are really trying to narrow down their focus to like the highest quality deals. And we, want to just wait for the best of the best. That's kind of what I'm doing here with y'all. But if you're new, then you need to start with the basics first, and then like take it piece by piece. But yeah, so we get that sweep, and then of course, you know the deal. Once that's taken, I go to my 1 minute, and then I look for my confirmation. So the confirmation signal, of course, I want to see that shift was, and on my shift, I need to see the fair value gap. I got it right there. And you see like right here, see that short-term low? I got a strong close beneath it. So you get that strong close beneath your short-term low, you got your fair value gap in there. What do you do next? Now you can hop in it. You're good to go. It's good to go at that point, folks. You could hop in it, target that low down there. See what I mean? Look, all the way down there, that was the low of where that 4-hour was. See what I mean? And then you slap the 1-to-1 on it. I know it's a hell of a lot of wiggle room, but that's how I do it, folks. Here, you get the point though. I don't, because it's not gonna let me stretch it. But you see, like, put the 1-to-1, let it do its thing, and then just let that thing go. See what I mean? And it just smooth like butter. This thing, it's so quick and it's so like effortless. And the reason it's so quick and so effortless, like very, very little fighting to the, like pulling back or anything, because it has the liquidity, folks. That's what it comes down to. Like, it has so much liquidity to fuel that push lower. And that's why it's so quick. That's why it's so smooth. But beforehand, you didn't have that, did you? No, look, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, because it's drawn to this. And it has Asian session lows. It only has higher time frame sell side, and it's coming up off of all that liquidity in there. It's coming up off all that liquidity, and it needs this right here because that is the fuel for price. Liquidity is the fuel for price. So once it has that liquidity, I like to use like the gas station analogy whenever I'm talking with my mentees during the day. Like, you have a destination you want to reach, right? This is the destination we want to reach, which is where we got the strong close at for the CC. But you're running on empty. Like, you have a destination you want to go to, but the tank's on empty. So what do you got to do? You got to stop at the gas station. You got to get some gas, right? You got to fill up the tank. So we come up right here. We go to the gas station. There's the gas station. And then we fill up the tank. Liquidity is like right there. That's fuel. That's gas. Shift. You start up the engine. Boom. We are ready to go. And it seeks the opposing sell side down below. So I'm going to give you a clear checklist. Okay. So when it comes to CC, of course, you know the rules with like, you got to have the strong close, of course. So you'll have strong close in there. And it's also a bonus that was third candle draw too, by the way. But you want to have the strong close. You know, you need, of course, like as I've already talked about, like you need the 5-minute liquidity sweep, the 1-minute displacement. You want your pivot tested. But here's the key thing. If it's a bearish scenario, folks, if it is a bearish scenario and price has taken out, if it has taken out higher time frame sell side like this, and then you get a CC deal, it needs to take out higher time frame buy side for you to get in it. Again, I'm talking about like for the top tier deals, you need to have that higher time frame buy side taken if it's coming off higher time frame sell side. Point blank, period. You need it. Once it's taken, then you could look for it to handle it. Okay. And of course, it would just be the reverse for a bullish scenario. For a bullish scenario, if it's if it's coming up and it's taken out like a swing point recently, like a swing high level, higher time frame buy side, then you would need to see it come down and take out a higher time frame sell side before getting your confirmation signal. That's the key. And that's where a lot of y'all go wrong. That's why I like the folks that do struggle with CC and, seeing that fall through. Like it's because it comes down to the liquidity. Like, you're getting these CC deals, but it doesn't have enough fuel, or it's already made the move into like a super big level already. And that's where a lot of y'all are going wrong with CC. And that's what you want to see. And of course, and like whenever you have like a lot of liquidity taken. Oh, and another thing. And of course, if you want to make it better as well, another thing you can do here, because this definitely assisted it too, have your daily be in conjunction with with where you're trading. So if you're bearish and you're looking for like a 4-hour bearish CC deal, having the daily bearish as well, it's going to help you. Like, for example, you see how like the daily in here, it doesn't have like any major liquidity taken in here or nothing. It's coming off of higher time frame buy side. And this is a good bearish CC deal on the daily too, because it goes back to the previous lesson I was just having a second ago. You have all the liquidity to frame it. Look at the higher time frame buy side that it's taken, and you see how it's pulling back here, but it has very little support. Like, you don't have any higher time frame sell side or nothing taken. You see what I mean? So because of that, price moves in the direction of least resistance. It has the fuel, it has an opposing draw, and that's going to assist it. Like, even like when you have like your lower time frame CC deals, that's something else that you want to see, which I talked about this like in regards to in my daily bias video. Like having that strong close right there. So again, this kind of connects to that video that I made. And if you haven't watched that, I highly recommend you watch it. And again, I will leave a link to that in the video description, that video that I made on the bias. Because then if you combine that, and then, with what I'm telling you right here, now you really got something nice, real nice. Because look, that's got conviction, don't it? Doesn't that got like a strong close beneath that low right there? So that right there is a bearish signature. So I know it's going to gravitate to that low down there. I didn't say that's going to be your PT. All right, if you're a scalper like I am, then I'm not saying that's going to be your PT, but it still gives you direction. You have a drawdown there, and that's going to assist you because you got that magnet. So like when you want like an A+ top tier CC deal, you want that daily to be in agreement. Okay. So if you're bearish CC deal on the lower time frame, you want that higher time frame to be bearish too. You want to be trading with that. So, for example, if that came down, let's say that came down, right, and it took out this low already, and then you got like a bearish CC deal a little bit later, do you think it would be as good? Do you think it would be as good as that point? No, of course not, because now that draw's gone. So the daily, having that higher time frame is important too for like the best of the best deals, because you want to be trading with that higher time frame draw. That's that higher time frame magnet for you. And then you're trading your CC deals in conjunction with that. It's not your target, it's not your PT, but it's still a magnet, and it's going to assist you. Okay? So if you're looking for a bearish CC deal, having that conviction, having that strength to the downside off of, again, liquidity to frame it. It took out significant buy side in here. That's going to assist you a lot. Okay. And then of course it would be the reverse for a bullish scenario. And again, folks, like if you want a little bit more detail on like the daily bias, you need to watch my daily bias video. Okay. There should be a link to that in the video description. As I said, you need to watch that too if you haven't watched it, because it connects perfectly with this, because that's going to, kind of fill in that missing piece for the bias for you. Then you can utilize what I've taught you in that video with the bias, with the liquidity lesson that I gave you here on the lower time frame. Again, having that sufficient liquidity to frame your move. And then you have like a full recipe. And then, that's like, again, as I said, that is that's all you need. I gave you a ATM. But I can give you that ATM, but guess what? I can't give you. I can't give you discipline. I can't give you patience. That's on you. That's on you, okay? There's no excuse. I've given you like on a fucking platter. And if you do want to learn a little bit more closely about CC, I recommend that you join my free Discord chat. There'll be a link to my free Discord chat in the video description. Again, just, because show I'm not doing this in hindsight, everything called beforehand. Right there, timestamped, 8:20, 4-hour bear CC, confirmed. Right as you're getting that displacement, clean out those lows for us. So it gives a lot of value to see this stuff play out real time and to be there with us real time, seeing this stuff unfold. Because when you watch my lessons, and you'll go into your charts and you study, and then you're following along daily in my Discord with me, you're going to start to think like I do with these charts. You're going to start to get a similar thought process. It just happens naturally. When you show up every day, you put in the effort, it happens naturally, and you're going to start to see what I see in these charts. So if you're not in the free Discord, join the free Discord. Okay. I also have like a complete free educational section in here. So like you see candle confirmation vids, psychology, liquidity, market structure, smart money concepts, market reviews, risk management, support and resistance. I got all kinds of content in here. Okay. So, there's no excuse. If you want to join, there will be a link to that in the video description. And if you enjoyed, make sure you leave a like on this video, subscribe. I'll keep the content coming.